Hey everybody, welcome back to the Lil Will Learning Company. Now for this video today, we're going to be looking at two math problems that are on the digital SAT. And the reason why I chose these two in particular is because they work on skills that maybe are not quite as often practiced within math class, algebra 2 geometry, but it's a pretty frequent type of problem that you see on the SAT. So we're going to take a look at it and make sure you know like the simplest way to approach it, what they're asking you. And without further ado, let's dive right in. So looking at this problem, it says if x over 8 equals 5, what is the value of 8 over x? Now, whether you say x over 8 or x divided by 8, it's the same thing. Same thing with saying 8 over x or 8 divided by x. The main thing is this. We know that x over 8 equals 5. I'm just going to write that down. Let's see, change this over to the pen. Voila. So, x over 8, we know that it equals 5. But we want to know what 8 over x equals. What's the value of that? Well, x over 8, it's also basically a fraction. You know, it's division, but it's essentially a fraction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 1 underneath the 5 here. So it looks like a fraction. I mean, it's not really. It's still just 5, but at least gives the appearance of a fraction. Now we have these two fractions that are essentially equal to each other or equivalent, proportional, whatever you want to call it. But we know that x over 8 is equal to 5 over 1. But we want to know for 8 over x. Well, basically we would just take this and take its reciprocal and just take those two numbers and flip it around. But that means we would do the same for 5 over 1. Now it becomes 1 over 5. And so essentially the value of 8 over x is 1/5. So fairly straightforward. The expression 4x squared plus bx minus 45, where b is a constant, can be rewritten as hx plus k times x plus j, where h, k, and j are integer constants. So which of the following must be an integer? Now let's just go ahead, take what they've given us here, and we're going to kind of FOIL it out, essentially. So we know that this expression, 4x squared plus bx minus 45, is going to be equivalent to this because it says it can be rewritten as this. So they're essentially equal to each other. They're equivalent. But let's take this here and let's FOIL it out. So first I'm just going to write it out. hx plus k times x plus j. So FOIL, we're going to do, this and this first. So hx times x is going to give us hx squared. hx times j is going to give us hxj, so plus hxj. Then we're going to do k times x and then k times j. K times x is going to be kx. And then k times j, kj. So this is just rewritten. And again, this whole thing here is equivalent to this expression here. Now, one thing I noticed with the two terms in the middle, hxj plus kx, with those two terms in the middle, they have a common factor of x because these are all just being multiplied anyway. So with the common factor of x, I'm actually going to factor that out. I'll leave the first term alone, hx squared, but I'm going to factor out that to x, and that leaves me with the first one, h times j, hj, plus the k here. So now is x distributed into hj plus k, and then plus kj, okay? Now, this here, it's just rewritten, but it is equivalent to that. So I'm actually going to put that expression to the right here because they're equivalent to each other, so they're basically equal to each other. 4x squared plus bx minus 45. Now, if you look at the two here, they're basically lined up with each other. So hx squared, that 8 must be the 4 right there. X distributed into hj plus k, which basically just means multiplied. Well, there's an x, there's that x there. So b must equal hj plus k. But what's really important here is we see that kj is basically equal to negative 45. All right, so since we know that kj is equal to negative 45, let's go ahead and just put that right here. Whoops. 1 second. Let's get my, there we go. Kj is going to equal negative 45. Now let's go ahead and look at our choice of answers again. We have A, which is equal to B over 8, B, which is B over K, C, which is 45 over H, and then D, which is 45 over K. Now, I kind of have a K here, I have a 45 here, so I could work with that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and take that K, I'm going to divide it to both sides. And what it's going to leave me with J equals negative 45 over K. Now, negative 45 over K is not one of the choices, but essentially this is an integer because it says J are integer constants. So J equals negative 45 over K. That means negative 45 over K is an integer. So therefore, it must also be that therefore 45 over K is also an integer. And so hence, the answer is D. Well, I hoped looking at those two examples helped out and gives you a better idea of the type of math problems you're going to be asked on the digital SAT. And you'll see that if you kind of know how to approach it, they're not really that bad a problem. They're not overly difficult, but it does take some practice. And as one last reminder, when you do take the digital SAT, it is timed. So you got to make sure that you do give yourself the appropriate amount of time to solve them. Don't take forever. Well, if that was helpful, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.